The voice of sharing. 旅人 ASEAN.
Hey, this is Arlene.
And this is Gowri.
And I'm smooth.
Osman is a bit slow today. So we just have our coffee, I guess. Osman, have you had your coffee?
I haven't actually. So maybe I should, have some caffeine.
I guess so. So anyway, today we are going to discuss in our ABC analysis on a very interesting issue in this region. In fact, I think it has one of the most colorful politics in Southeast Asia. I don't know about your view. This is actually, we are talking about Thailand. And as we all know, unfolding itself day by day, the Thailand is now being ruled over by a military junta.
Yeah, that's right. So on the 22nd of May 2014, the Royal Thai Armed Forces, led by General Prayuth Chan-o-cha, who is the commander of the Royal Thai Army RTA, launched a coup d'état against the caretaker government in Thailand following 6 months of political crisis. And this military established a junta called the National Council for Peace and Order, or you can call it the NCPO, to govern the nation.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, talking about that, a lot of the people, especially those who are from the partisan politics of Thailand, I actually they have so many colors. I know there's one red shirt group, and then blue shirt, and then what about the other colors? Anyway, sorry. So this group of protesters, together with the civil society, actually, against the military junta, now they have a common enemy, I guess. And one of the latest sign of protest is to hold up a three-finger. It's a it's a three-finger. You use your middle finger and your. I don't know how to say.
Well, I think you can just say three fingers without your thumb and your pinky. So
yeah, your pinky. So anyway, there's a sign of protest that they actually sort of copied from the movie Hunger Games.
yeah, that's right.
And the situation, this the interesting part why they are following the Hunger Games is because the situation in Hunger Game and the situation in Thailand is exactly the same. Have you watched Hunger Game before, Asman?
Unfortunately, I haven't.
You should watch it. I mean, although it's a pop culture movie, but one thing that is interesting, it sort of show that society are divided into classes. The richest classes towards the most poor classes, and the richest class would control the whole society, and they would ensure that the middle class, the lower middle class, and also the poorest class to fight with each other in order for them not to sort of see that they are actually the enemy, because they are the one who are taking the resources from all the region. And the same thing is happening in Thailand. Thailand is actually one of the article that I saw in Bangkok Post. I think it was probably 2 months ago. It seems like Thailand is the most unequal society in Southeast Asia, and there's sort of impact or translated into Thai's partisan politics. So anyway, let's go back to the timeline of the military junta. Maybe Gowri, you have something you want to say about the timeline, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll just kind of walk you through what happened with Thailand, and I'll probably start with maybe last year, so I don't go too far back. So in 2013, in June, when Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra reshuffles the cabinet for the 5th time, sacking their commerce minister who was responsible for the rice price subsidy cut, taking on a defense portfolio. And in December, in response to opposition pressure, PM Yingluck Shinawatra announces that early elections will be held in February 2014, but rejects calls for her to step down in the meantime. And former Prime Minister Abhisit Vejjajiva, charged with murder over 2010 crackdown on demonstrators in which more than 90 people died, and Mr. Abhisit, who is the leader of the opposition Democrat Party, denies the charges and is granted bail. So what happened in February was that the general elections go ahead, but the Constitutional Court declares them invalid because of the disruption by the opposition. So I think we also reported that all these protesters were causing havoc in front of the courts and also in the election places. Then in May, the Constitutional Court finally orders Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra and several ministers out of the office over alleged irregularities in appointment over security advisor. And that is when the army seizes power in a coup. So if I can say a little bit more, when General Prayuth took over on the evening of May 22nd, May 2014, he announced it through a television, actually, a televised address, that the armed forces are assuming control of the national administration, officially launching a coup d'état against the caretaker government, and they are going to establish the NCPO to rule the state.
So what do you think of this, Asmon? I mean, you've been watching the issue in Southeast Asia from your dorm room back in the US. From an outsider's perspective, what did you see when it comes to Thai politics? Because this is not the first time Thai have a military coup. I think it's like the
18th time.
18th time. Yeah.
Yeah, some would say it's even the 19th, but I think only 12 have been successful so far. Like it dates back to 1932.
Yeah.
But talking about military coup and Thailand, so we also know that there are like red shirts, which probably support Thaksin.
Red shirts.
And there are people usually like who are farmers and people from the working class in societies. And there are these yellow shirts who are mostly aristocrats and people in middle class in Bangkok. And the Thai military, it seems like the PPP, is that the party Yingluck is from? Yeah, it seems her party is pretty unpopular, at least among the military. And we also can't negate the role of Thai monarchy here, although it doesn't come to the scene prominently. And it's not seen outside, but I think King Bhumibol's role is also something very crucial here, which doesn't necessarily get talked about.
The Thai military's allegiance is towards the king, isn't it? It's not towards any social groups.
I don't know if we can say that without at least some form of social support, I don't think this would have happened. Say Suthep, who was leading the protest against government, he badly wanted the Thai military to intervene and oust Yingluck from power. So I think at least Suthep has succeeded in his one of the agendas. But when it comes to Thai military, like if we look at the campaigns they have been recently hosting, so they have been having concerts like so-called happiness campaign. They even have asked the broadcasters to broadcast the World Cup for free.
Wow.
So they are just trying to win public support. I don't know like how helpful it would be just to maintain their rule in the long term, because it seems the military is not so successful at the end in ruling the country, because they eventually hand back the power to civil government and say that like, hey, it's gonna be our last time that we're gonna intervene. Until next time.
So the military sort of convinced that their existence is just temporary. It's a form of affirmative action, I guess, towards restoring democracy.
That's the rhetoric. So every time the military comes, I think even in Burma, the rhetoric is, hey, we want to restore peace and democracy in our country. Not democracy, because one of the arguments that the Thai military has given is, hey, our democracy is immature, so we're going to take care of the country until the democracy becomes mature, and after that, we'll hand over the power. But if they don't let people exercise their rights, by rights I don't just mean voting, but creating institutions that support and promote democracy, supporting free media. If they don't support that, I don't know if Thailand's democracy is ever going to mature.
I see. So anyway, talking about when you mentioned just now, a lot of things that the Thai military did, and I think one of it would be they actually created a song, and what's interesting of the song is it was written by a 60-year-old soldier. And he displays his softer side by writing lyrics called Return to Happiness to Thailand, which feature lines such as, we offer to guard and protect you with our hearts, and we are asking for a little more. And it's a set to music by the Royal Thai Army Band. So we're actually going to play it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, just to to sort of like show, like, you know, the Thai military, you know, in a way is trying to win hearts, but you know, I think probably Thai people, you know, they have, you know, gone through so many military coup that probably what they want is a real, you know, a real matured politics.
I think it's like the Stockholm Syndrome. Do you know the Stockholm Syndrome?
What is that?
It's usually when a kidnapper kidnaps someone and he tries to be really, really nice to that person, you know, so that person will actually in turn think that, oh, this person is actually really nice. This person is actually just really cares for me, you know. I think that's what the Thailand government is doing now, because they took over and then they impose all these rules, all these curfews, all these curbing the media freedom and all. And then at the same time, they're trying to, you know, let the people watch World Cup, like what Osmond said. And
we are letting you listen to a music.
Yeah, let's listen to
so
Happiness. Is it? Is that what is it called?
Yeah, it's called Happiness. Let me play. Oh, by the way, it can't be played here, interestingly.
Okay, we can keep talking. Just about the World Cup issue, I think we need to look beyond the surface. What's happening? Obviously, it wants to make people happy, but also in one of the news analyses, a writer wrote that if people come out in the street and watch football in big screens, then they will have the opportunity just to come and gather together. And I don't think the military wants that at this point. So on one hand, it's trying to like win people's support and make people happy, but that's an interesting thing in politics. Like there's rhetorics on one hand, but there's also these things happening beyond the surface at the other hand. So especially in Thai politics, I think we say Thaksin is largely absent from the scene. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, what his future plans are. The king hasn't voiced his opinion strongly. So, but still, like they are playing very crucial roles behind the scenes, and people aren't aware of that.
So I think that there's also another analysis that I read that asked that was the situation in Thailand really that bad that the military had to step in and take charge immediately. And it says that there is no concrete proof that the situation in Thailand is out of control to the extent that an enforcement of the martial law is essential. But then again, without the enforcement of martial law, the army is only one step closer to taking over power completely from the civilian administration. And the military authorities in Thailand also, they actually have superior power over the local authority in Thailand in terms of keeping up the public order. There is no balance, no safeguards against any rights violation, and there are no remedies for any damage caused by the army. So right now, the fate of the nation is, I guess, essentially in General Prayut's hands.
And actually, I want to pose one question here. Like in Thai politics, why is it's so normal to have military coup like all the time in Thai politics? It's as if it's a tradition, and it began when in 1932, modern Thai first military coup transitioned the country from an absolute to a constitutional monarchy. It is I mean, it's interesting because I think almost all country in Southeast Asia has some form of military coup, but it only happened like one time, or like this one huge incident, but it's never like a huge thing. Even in Malaysia, back in Malaysia, our military is not as independent. It's not like in Thailand where they can simply make a decision without
and
going
overthrow
through.
the civil authority even.
I was reading a book on how to do coup for one of my politics class.
How to do coup?
I don't know if it's something we
Beware
want to
of
implement.
Osmod. Osmod, you might not want to say this on radio, by the way.
It's just a book that I read for my class, so it was mandatory. Anyway, it's a very complex process, but say in countries like Africa and in Thailand, it happens so repeatedly that they make it seem like as if like it has gained at least normalcy to some form. Like if somebody says like, hey, a coup occurred in Thailand, probably we won't be that shocked. Like versus people say like, we can't even imagine a coup can happen in the US or UK.
Yeah, it will be a huge
Or
thing,
even here, actually, I think we'll be like in utter disbelief, as opposed to people in Thailand. I think they just shrug it off like, oh, it's another coup.
So in this analysis that I'm reading is from Newsweek. It stated that in reality, why it's so normal to have a coup, every probably 5 to 10 years, is because it reflected the general disengagement of Thai citizens from the political fears that. Spheres that any particular fitness in the implementation of the transition to democracy, and also indeed the power holders in the government reflected this indifference as well. For years, military and civilian leaders vie for power with nary a thought to the well-being of the people that they perpetually led. So in that sense, it's also being further complicated by the frequent intervention of the Thai monarchy, Bhumipol Adulyadej. I don't know whether it is pronounced correctly or not. So, and he has the absolute power. Like, in Thailand, you cannot even like say any bad things towards any negative things towards the king. And the punishment is actually quite severe, which is imprisonment. It's not. In Malaysia, it's once a while you have issues with, maybe clashes, dissatisfaction among the general public towards a certain sultan or certain king, but it has never been like really as bad as what Thailand is.
So I think apart from Thailand getting really used to military coup, I think their political turmoil is also another reason why it's so common for them to have the military take over, because as we know, they've been trying to have an election since November last year, and it was never successful. It's either the demonstrators from a blockade at the election areas, or they cause some kind of other disturbances. And for so long, they've been trying to have a proper election so they can hate towards democracy, but it's just so hard to do. So I guess that's another reason why the military just had to step in and take control, and like, okay, maybe we should be in charge of getting the opposition and the government into talks and sort things out that way.
I think it would also be helpful to look at the interests and ask the question like, on whose interests or on whose behalf are the military acting? So is it for the interest of the people as they claim to be? Is it in the interest of one of the highly institutionalized monarchy, or is it in the interest of the business class in societies? Like, what are they actually trying to do? Because Thai politics is like hugely influenced by a like small elite. That being said, like democracy in many societies today are practiced by like elite for the majority of the people, but in Thailand it's very prominent. So even when the military does coup, we can probably think, like, what are they, like, whom are they actually serving? and are the people actually benefiting from what the military is trying to do?
One of the key answer that I can get is probably from the lyrics of Returning Happiness to the People. Is so the lyrics actually in some is just to say that, you know, we are here to take care of you because we want to return happiness to you. But I'm not sure what it defined as happiness. Is it something that is more abstract, or is it something that is like democracy or freedom, you know? So I'm not sure what does it mean by happiness, but what I can feel out of this lyric is it's sort of like saying, you know, we are your father, or we are like your big brother. We want to take care of you. Just give your, you know, whatever you have in probably freedom and all that into us, so we can, you know, sort of hope that, you know, the Thai politics will mature and things will get better again.
So I think the coup taking over also has very negative effects on the country. Although they're trying to restore balance, they're trying to bring peace and all, but like we know, the U.S. has already been threatening to withdraw its financial aid to Thailand if they don't return to democracy soon enough. And other countries have also been trying to pull back, and even Australia, according to a survey conducted, they have been trying to rule out Thailand as a possible holiday destination for their people because of the dangerous state that is currently in Thailand.
Mm-hmm. Do you think a military coup is necessary once a while in Thailand? Well, because as it being reported by the Wall Street Journal, it says that the coup is needed to prevent civil war. I guess civil war is the war between the red shirt and the blue shirt.
Yellow shirt?
Sorry?
Yellow shirt?
Yellow shirt was... It seems like the yellow has turned into blue.
Interesting.
So I guess all these shirts represent a certain social class in Thai's politics, and I think the way forward, this is my own point of view, is to sort of to sort of creating a more equal society, you know, like trying to help both the poor and the middle class, rather than, you know, we are only fighting for our class and you are only fighting for your class.
Okay, I think so. Before we end our discussion for today, I would like to read out a quote or a little speech by the Assembly for the Defense of Democracy in Thailand, who said that a good ruler shall not rule by force. He must be accepted by the public, must gain public consent, must keep his words, and must acquire faith and trust from everyone. If the NCPO treats the people as its enemy and keeps on suppressing them by force, it will face endless resistance and will have to suppress countless people. And eventually, there will be no one left to be ruled.
So with that, we will play a song by the Beatles, The End. And keep up with us, because later on we have another interesting dialogue with two very interesting guests on the religious accountability in Malaysia.
And before that, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and also you can tune in to us on your TuneIn app on your smartphone. So.
Or you can go to our website and check on us at www.durianasian.com, as well as you can, if you want to email us some of your thoughts, you can send us an email at durianasian@gmail.com.